We're in? Yep. Alright, so here we go. Welcome to race number 25 of 29 here in the 1989 Throwbacks. Last week, Bill Elliott ended up finishing 32nd due to an early race incident, and now he lies 105 points behind Tim Richmond, 5 races to go. This is a seemingly insurmountable points lead, but we've got some wildcard races coming up, including this race here at Charlotte. This is going to be absolutely insane. Charlotte has gained a reputation of being a little bit of a wreck fest, and so is North Wilkesboro, and that's coming up. Don't worry about that. That's coming up. North Wilkesboro can be insane its own right. Anyways, simulating past the qualifying, it looks like Brett Bodine is going to be on the pole once again with the Fords. Brett Bodine is going to be on the pole, and Bill Elliott is going to be in second. Ow! Another really interesting top 10 here, and really shows you that we're going to have some interesting racing come 1990. So Brett Bodine, he's on the pole. Bill Elliott is in second. Well, Rusty Wallace is in third. Terry Labonte fourth. Phil Parsons fifth. Kyle Petty's going to be in sixth. Then we have Ken Schrader in seventh. Last week's winner, Ricky Rudd, is going to roll off eighth. In ninth, we have Davey Allison. And rounding out the top 10 is going to be Dale Earnhardt. My question is, where's the 25 car? 11th. Alright, so Tim Richmond's going to roll off 11th today. And he might not have the greatest car in the world for this race. This could be an opportunity for Elliott to get 20, maybe 30 of those points back. Here comes the command.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The command's been given. Another thing that this could be really huge for, as far as Elliott's concerned. I just realized that this is way too high. As far as Elliott's concerned, he's got to get out here and lead these laps. He needs to pass Brett Bodine on lap 1. And Brett Bodine, he's still looking for his first career win, so he wants to prove himself. Bud Moore has not gotten a win as an owner since 1985. It happened at this track, believe it or not, at this very race. So it's actually been 4 years to this date. Green flag is out here at Charlotte. Here we go. You can see the cars flying by into corner number 1. Looks like Brett Bodine's going to have the advantage early on, and Elliott's going to fall back a little bit. And Phil Parsons might be able to get around Elliott for third here as well. And here comes Terry Labonte down for fourth. Elliott not having a good start to this race. Yeah, Elliott needs to find the bottom of the track in the worst way. Meanwhile, we've already got a battle for the lead. And Brett Bodine's lead looks like that's going to evaporate after one lap. Here comes Rusty Wallace to the bottom, but Brett Bodine's hanging in on the outside lane. Look at this. Even side by side going down the back straightaway, and I think Bodine was actually a little bit faster there. Well, watch this, who turns 3 and 4. Bodine slips a little bit more, and there goes Wallace. I think he's going to have him cleared. He does. Rusty Wallace will lead lap number 2. Oh, here comes Davey Allison to the bottom of Bill Elliott now as he continues his backwards slide. Boy, Davey Allison looks really, really strong in that car right now. He's looked really, really strong over the past 2 or 3 races. And imagine when he gets into competitive speed. It might be interesting to see how good Davey Allison actually does. He's competitive right now. He's in 5th. Let's see here, Ken Schrader. Oh, he got a good run there on Brett. He's going to try to find a way around Brett. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. So right now your leaders are going to be single file. Your leader is Rusty Wallace in second place, Terry Labonte. Third, Brett Bodine. Fourth, Ken Schrader. Fifth, Davey Ellison. Sixth, Phil Parsons. Seventh will be Bill Elliott. Eighth will be Mark Martin. And we've got a battle for the lead. Terry Labonte was able to just get underneath Rusty Wallace there. That was a good move by Labonte. He's going to try to take the lead here. Here comes Schrader, and here comes Allison. So Terry Labonte is going to go to the point here. Well, so far, so clean. Usually we see a caution in the first few laps here at Charlotte. Has not happened. That's a good sign. Maybe not necessarily a good sign for Elliott, though. Right now, he's currently in 7th, and his car is not exactly setting the world on fire. Terry Labonte. And he's going to continue to lead. Oh, wow, look at Allison here. He's going to try for the 2nd position. Remember, he did really, really well at Martinsville, and now here is Allison going for the 2nd position. He's doing really well here at Charlotte. And a couple drivers are really finishing this year off strong, and Davey Allison is certainly one of them. And Schrader got a good run through turn 3 there, and Allison's not going to be able to take position. He's going to try to keep Brett Bodine behind him. Trying like hell. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte's still off scot-free here at the front of the pack. Leaders are roughly single file. Elliott has fallen back to the 9th position. He just does not have the car today. It's going to be really, it might be a really rough day for both Elliott and Richmond, because Richmond's fallen back to 12th. And here, coming into the top 10, here's Kowicki. Kowicki's going into the top 10 here if he can get around Earnhardt. And here he goes. A great move there by Kowicki will get him into the top 10. Earnhardt going to try to hold on to 11th, trying to hold off a rival in form of Tim Richmond. And it looks like he's going to be able to do that successfully. Meanwhile, back up here at the front, Mark Martin trying to make some moves. This time he's going to get around Phil Parsons. Ricky Rudd's going to try to get around Phil as well. This is close. This is about as close of a battle as you're going to get. Elliott unable to make a move on Ricky Rudd in the outside lane. But Brett Bodine wants to make a move on Allison. Here he comes. Whoa, Bodine almost in the grass there. He's going to have to watch himself. He's going to make that kind of an aggressive move here on lap 11. Imagine the move that he's going to make on lap 81. He'll be in the grass. Allison holding strong in the outside lane, and then he lets him go. Martin also trying to gain a position here. Had such a good run at Martinsville. Led the most laps. Probably should have won. But Ricky Rudd at the end there, on the final few restarts, just out-dueled Martin to the finish. Sometimes that's what happens. You just get out-driven out there. And that's what Ricky Rudd did. He just outdrove the 6 car all the way to the end of the race. It might have taken the entire race, but Rudd was able to catch, pass, and beat Mark Martin. Meanwhile, we've got a battle for the lead. Ken Schrader down to the bottom of Terry Labonte. Labonte trying to defend on the outside, and it looks like he's going to do so. Labonte stays at the point for now. Boy, Schrader's looking fast right now. Yeah, Ken Schrader pretty much looking for any way around the 11 car that he can find. Though Terry Labonte's not exactly giving him any kind of room either. You can see the 28 is really far back there now. And this battle's still going crazy. And now look at this. We're going to go 3 wide here. Alan Kowicki trying to shoot the middle. Look at this move by Alan Kowicki. Oh, wrong button there. Alan trying to hold it on the outside of Dale Earnhardt now. Rudd is going to lose a lot of positions. That will move Alan Kowicki up into 8th if he can make this pass on Dale Earnhardt. And I think he's going to do it. No, he needs a better run off of 3 and 4. I mean, 1 and 2 than that, I think. No, he's got him cleared going into turn 3. There he goes. Oh, whoa, we've got issues. It's the 57 of Hut Strickland. No caution. No caution yet. Looks like we're going to stay green. Got off the track. No fluids being reported on the track by any of the drivers. If that's the case, we're going to continue looking back at this battle here until we get a battle for the lead. Man, Kowicki's looking strong. 3 drivers have really looked strong here late in the season. Mark Martin, Alan Kowicki, and Davey Allison. I don't know if Ford has just stepped up their game or not, or if these 3 teams have just stepped up their game. But man, those 3 Fords have been really, really fast of late. And Elliott's been falling back. It's actually affected him negatively. Meanwhile, all the other Fords seem to be doing great. And yeah, Kowicki's doing great. Martin's doing great. Allison's doing fantastically. Terry Labonte's out there leading the race right now. And meanwhile, Bill Elliott's about to lose 2 positions here. So whatever the Ford program has done, it has not benefited Elliott, but has certainly benefited the other Ford drivers. And that might be an understatement too. Yeah, because you take a look at all the Fords that are in the top 10. I mean, you got Terry Labonte, Davey Allison, Brett Bodine, Mark Martin, Alan Kowicki. And then you have Bill Elliott, but now Bill Elliott shuffled outside of the top 10. The next best Ford is Neil Bonnet, and he's an 18th. So, Bonnet isn't going to do well. But that's because that team is not exactly the greatest thing in the world. The Wood Brothers hasn't set the world on fire in a long time, but you got to think, man. 4 out of the top 5 cars, all Fords. The only person playing spoiler right now is Ken Schrader. You're watching the battle for the lead right now. Your leader is the number 11 Budweiser Ford, Terry Labonte. Second place, Ken Schrader, number 35. Number 28, Haviland Ford, that's Davey Allison. And then the number 15 Motorcraft Ford, that is Brett Bodine. There are battles further back in the pack. Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace sort of battling for position. Then we have Alan Kowicki running alone. And then we've got a battle for 8th here between Dale Earnhardt and Tim Richmond. And various battles beyond that. This top 4s remain pretty much the same. And every once in a while you'll see one of these 4 drivers go side by side, but they're just so equal that nobody can really get a good advantage, a good sustained advantage for long enough to pass them. You can see back there, Brett Bodine, he looked for a place to get around Davey Allison, but that would have killed Bodine's momentum, and he knew that. So he didn't make the pass. Yeah, these guys are also way out in front of everybody else. You got to consider Mark Martin, the person that's in 5th, is 3 seconds behind this top 4. But we're having a good battle right now, just pretty much a good chess match going on here. This time, Davey Allison getting a good run on Ken Schrader. Allison's going to try to take advantage here going into turn 1. Allison trying to take the 2nd position away from Ken Schrader. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Meanwhile, Brett Bodine's going to try to take the 3rd position away from Davey Allison on the outside lane. That's also not going to happen. Brett Bodine going to try to make a move on Davey Allison now, going into turn 1. Man, that outside lane is working to the driver's advantage right now through turn 1 and 2, but here Brett Bodine was able to make the bottom line stick through 1 and 2. Side by side down the back straightaway is the battle for third. Bodine drives it in deep into turn 3. Allison trying to hold on the outside lane. I don't think it's going to matter. Brett Bodine's going to take the third position away. And you want to talk about good young talent. Here you go. Brett Bodine, Davey Allison. Good young talent. Now, these drivers are not as young, but they're certainly still really good. Terry Labonte, of course, coming close to winning the championship in 1984, although he was unable to take it. He finished third in what was a much tighter points battle than anticipated, we'll just say that. And then you have Ken Schrader, the 1985 Rookie of the Year. Didn't get his first career win until this year, however. Though I think he's done a fantastic job in the 35 car this season. I don't see Schrader going anywhere for the time being. Meanwhile, JD McDuffie's not doing Ken Schrader any favors here. Oh, this is not going to work to Schrader's advantage at all. Fords are going to go 1, 2, 3 here at Charlotte. Well, Terry Labonte's going to actually try to maneuver on the outside of lap traffic. Sometimes you got to use the whole track as a driver, and this is definitely one of those times where you got to use the whole track. Smart move there by Terry Labonte. Shows you that veteran instinct, that champion's instinct that he has. Meanwhile, we've got a battle back here for position between Mark Martin and Alan Kowicki. That will put 5 Fords in the top 6. If Mark Martin can hold on in the outside lane here, they're going to go 3 wide. Oh, that's a risky move there by Wallace. Wallace is not going to let the Fords completely take over and dominate this race today. But Kowicki's holding on. And I think Kowicki's going to remain holding on. Not quite. Well, Kowicki won't remain holding on, but Mark Martin will. Whoa, Mark Martin pulls down to the apron, and so is Alan Kowicki. So we're getting people coming down pit road, including the leader, Terry Labonte, but I think Davey Allison stayed out, and indeed he did. So Davey Allison is going to pick up 5 bonus points for leading that lap, though he's absolutely nowhere near contention for the championship. He's nowhere near contention for the championship. And there he goes. Allison's going to dive off on a pit road this time around. So will Wallace. But here comes Ricky Red zooming by. He wants 5 bonus points. Yep, he's pretty much just going to say, check please, and pick up his 5 bonus points there. This will mean that we're going to have a second pit stop at around lap number 60, and that should take us to the end. No pit stop controversies today. Unlike the Coca-Cola 600, which can get really crazy with pit stops. Rudd's pulling in, Parsons is pulling in, Bodine is in. Now we'll watch Labonte. How will everyone blend with Labonte? Now, this might be an overall dominating performance by this 11 car. You can see Tim Richmond and Ken Schrader way back there. So I think the 11 lost a lot of ground, actually. Oh, there's Davey Allison. Either that or the 25 gained a No, he's a lap down, maybe. No, he's not. Wow, Tim Richmond gained a lot of ground on that pit stop. Richmond's pit crew brought him right back into this race. Yep, and you can see him screaming by Ricky Rudd there. So your leader is going to be, as shown, the number 11, Terry Labonte. He'll be your leader. Tim Richmond second, Ken Schrader third, Davey Allison fourth, Alan Kowicki fifth, Mark Martin sixth. Gant will be in seventh. It looks like Rusty Wallace will be in eighth. Earnhardt's going to take over ninth, and Ricky Rudd's going to settle into 10th. So Brett Bodine will be in 11th. That is a huge loss of ground for Bodine. 12th for Waltrip. 13th Kyle Petty. 14th Jeff Bodine. 15th Neil Bonnet. 16th will be Ernie Irvin. 17th Phil Parsons. And 18th Bill Elliott. Oh boy. So Elliott's going to collapse again at the end of the season, and if this is the way that this race is going to end, it's going to take a catastrophic failure from the 25 team in order for Elliott to win the championship. And we always say that this race is one of those wild card races, and right now the wild card just played in favor of the 25 again. So this race pretty much seals the deal for Tim Richmond being the championship, the championship winner. We'll see how things go, though. Elliott's going to fall more than a race down, likely more than a race down at the end of this race. And with 4 races left in the season, you're just not going to make up that. You're just not going to make that up. So your leader continues to be Terry Labonte. Meanwhile, Ken Schrader looking for his way around his teammate. Schrader wants to have a go at that lead. I know for a fact he wants to have a go at that lead. Trying to get around the 25 here. Now Schrader definitely has the faster car over his teammate Richmond. We take a look at the fastest lap charts. And, well, the 35 is at the top of the boards. Meanwhile, the 25 is in 13th. So, yeah, the 35 is at the top of the boards as far as the fastest laps of the race is concerned. Which really shouldn't come as a surprise. Don't think it does. So there you go, Ken Schrader to second. Meanwhile, we look further back, and Harry Gant's having a good performance here. He just passed Alan Kowicki for the 6th position. So right now, Schrader, Richmond, Gant, they're the only Ford spoilers up here at the front. And Richmond's losing ground pretty quickly. So expect him to drop way behind, but yeah, this has been a pretty good performance here for Harry Gant. He's trying to get into the top 5 here, trying to find a way around Martin, but man, these Fords have been very, very fast. These past few races could be a sign of things to come. There you see Martin and Allison, they're battling for each other. That's for the 4th position. Mark Martin trying to find a way around Davey. And here comes Kowicki to the bottom of Harry Gant. Can he get there? Ooh, Gant slams the door shut on him. That's rough. Yeah, that's getting dealt a rough deck of cards, no doubt about that. Here comes Gant to the bottom of Allison. So maybe Allison's the one that's going to start falling back. So that'll put Gant up into the top 5. And Kowicki might try to find a way around Allison as well. Gets right to the back of the 28. Trying to do anything he can here. Meanwhile, it should be noted that Ken Schrader is running Terry Labonte down, though not exactly at a fast pace. And Tim Richmond is keeping up with the 35. It's got to be said that Tim Richmond is keeping up with the 35. So yeah, Richmond might not be as slow as we all once thought. There goes Schrader around the 10 car. Now Gant, he's gotten around Mark Martin as well, so Harry Gant all of a sudden has just slingshotted his way into the 4th position. How about that? Harry Gant having a very impressive run, passing 3 really strong cars there. Gant has really struggled through this part of his career as well. I mean, 1986, 1987 especially were really ugly seasons for Harry Gant, struggling to stay in the top 25 in points with this team. He got a new owner last year. The Jackson brothers ended up taking over the team in 1988. And, well, Gant didn't really have that much of a rebound, but this year he's going to be looking at his first top 10 points finish since 1985. And although he's winless, you gotta imagine he might be in contention for a win or two next year. Yeah, Gant's had a few really good runs here. Should be interesting to see how things go around. Meanwhile, Ken Schrader continues to inch closer to that 11 car. So Terry Labonte, he's still your leader. He's still way out there. But Schrader's coming. Meanwhile, we've got a battle here for 6th. Rusty Wallace is going to get around Davey Allison. Well, maybe those Fords aren't as fast as we once thought. Because, man, everyone else is starting to come now. They were fast out of the gate, no doubt about that. But, as you said, that they're starting to fall back now. Maybe we were speaking too soon about the speed of the Fords. Because now, all of a sudden, there's only going to be one Ford in the top 5, and that's your leader, Terry Labonte. And he's getting ran down right now. Look at this move by Rusty Wallace. He pulls right to the bumper of the 6 car. And here's the battle for 5th. Wallace trying to take that position away from Mark Martin. Martin's going to have to drop back. And indeed, Rusty Wallace is going to take over that position. Wallace now drops to the bottom, trying to get around Derek Cope in the 10. Meanwhile, 3 wide. Davey Allison trying to force the issue here with Mark Martin. Allison might be able to get the position, but Mark Martin gets a really strong run off of turn 2. He's got to watch. If he battles him too hard, they're both going to lose a position to Earnhardt, who's right behind him. Yeah, it looks like Mark Martin's actually going to lose 2 positions here. And if Davey Allison isn't careful, he's going to lose a position too. Earnhardt is coming through the field. That'll put Earnhardt into 7th. Earnhardt can get around the 28th. That'll put him into 6th. And man, that 11 car is coming along. I mean, the 35 car is coming along. He's really starting to reel in the 11 car now. The lead is down to under a second. You see up here, now they're going to try to get around Jeff Purvis as a lap traffic. And Earnhardt's going to get around Davey Allison. So put Earnhardt into 6th. By the way, Bill Elliott's made his way up to the 14th position and has maintained about the pace of the leader. And whoa, the gap really shot back up there with Schrader. Yeah, it was under a second last lap. Now it's 1.3 seconds. Sometimes lap traffic is a big drug. It can cause you to get much closer to somebody than you would originally think you'd be able to get to. Yeah, Labonte actually continues to pull away from Schrader now. And now, as an interesting side note, we're watching the battle for the 4th position. Harry Gant in the 33, Rusty Wallace in the 27. Here comes Wallace, trying to get to the inside of the 33. Looks like, yep, there he goes. Rusty Wallace is going to take the position away from Harry Gant. So there he goes. Wallace is around Harry Gant now. So put Wallace into 4th, Gant into 5th. Earnhardt is also coming. I think he's faster than both of them. No. No, he is not. And Terry Labonte continues to pull away from Ken Schrader now. So maybe Labonte was conserving his tires. Ken Schrader was really blowing his tires off. And now look at this. The lead's up to almost 2 seconds again. So maybe Terry Labonte was just pulling a little strategy technique. You're going to come to the line, 30 laps to go. Terry Labonte is going to still be your leader. What we're watching right now is the battle for the 11th position. Jeff Purvis in the 52. He's going to go a 2nd lap down, I believe. Nope, that's just 1 lap down. And Mark Martin is in the 11th position. We were just talking about how Martin was in the top 5. Well, he's fallen all the way to 11th. And Bodines here is going to challenge him for the position. Jeff Bodine, we haven't really heard much from him all day. Hasn't really done much. And Jeff Bodine's going to take over. He'll get into 11th. Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace really getting held up here behind AJ Foyt. That's actually going to disadvantage Harry Gant, as now Earnhardt's going to take over the 5th position. He might be looking for 4th soon. See if Earnhardt can try to get around Rusty Wallace here. Earnhardt having a very lackluster season this year, trying to defend his championship. He looked really strong early on. Only 1 win this entire season. 1 win for Earnhardt. Well, sometimes you have off years, and this has been, well, a quote-unquote off year for Dale Earnhardt. Only 1 win so far this year. Though he's still managing to be 3rd in points. So, obviously, Earnhardt's doing something right. And it's because he's in the top 5 week in and week out, and he knows what he's doing. So, Earnhardt's going to keep doing it. So right now, we'll just scroll up to your leader. Ken Schrader has hit pit road, I imagine. That's why he's not noticed. And there we go. Terry Labonte is going to go down pit road now. Tim Richmond's also going to hit pit road. Who's going to stay out? It looks like Rusty Wallace is going to stay out. That'll be 5 bonus points for Wallace as he comes across the line. Lead that lap. Now it's all going to be coming out. Who can get out of pit road the fastest? Who can have the best pit stops? Green flag pit stops are going to be absolutely hectic. Here we go. The 27's coming in. The 3 is coming in. 26. The 5 is going to stay out. So Jeff Bodine, I don't think he led a lap yet, so this will be 5 points for Jeff Bodine. Yep, that'll be 5 points for Bodine. See if he hits pit road or not. Should be hitting pit road this time around, and indeed he will. Whoa. Whoa! Oh, Bodine hard into the wall. Oh, wow. Everyone's still going straight. I'm looking for the caution lamps. See if they're coming on. No caution's going to be thrown for that. Well, I don't see any debris on the track. I'm guessing he kept going, so maybe. I'm not sure what the ruling is on that. And the 5 went straight to the garage. Wow. That was a hard hit by Jeff Bodine. Well, we got to discount that because now we're going to have a rush, a dash, I should say, to the finish here. Only a few laps to go, and your leader is the 35 of Ken Schrader. He beat the 11 up off of pit road. So this is basically going to be between Schrader and Labonte. See who's going to be able to take this one home. Now, Schrader has had a fantastic car all race long, and it's unsurprising that he was finally able to overtake the 11 on pit road. The rest of the top 10's going to go Tim Richmond in 3rd, Harry Gant 4th, and then we have Dale Earnhardt 5th. Rusty Wallace will be in 6th. Brett Bodine 7th, Alan Kowicki 8th, Ricky Rudd in 9th, and Darrell Waltrip will be rounding out your top 10. So Bill Elliott is still nowhere to be found in 14th position. A terrible run for Elliott. And yeah, it's just not been a good end of the season to Elliott again. Yeah, this is like the second or third. It seems like a theme. Whenever we get to the end of the season, Elliott chokes a huge lead away. And unfortunately, that's going to cost him a championship this year again. He did the same thing last year, too. It looked like he was going to really be a contender for the championship, and then nope. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte's going to try to use lap traffic as a pick. Will he try to make it 3 wide? He will. Oh, that's dicey. Oh, wow. Woo-hoo. That was really close. 19 laps to go. Terry Labonte's your leader. Wow. That was insane. That was an insane move there by Terry Labonte to take the lead. This lead battle isn't over. Look at the run that Schrader gets off of turn 2. Will he try to make the move going into 3? Or is he going to wait for Chad Little? Looks like he's going to wait. Try to see if Terry Labonte might make a mistake or something. Labonte's still good. Yeah, we're going to be treated to a really good lead battle here. Labonte looking for a way around Chad Little. He's going to be able to do that. He gets to the bottom. Schrader's also going to go to the bottom. And there they go across the line. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte, it looks like he's pulling a little bit of a gap on Ken Schrader. Maybe Chad Little kind of slowed Schrader down a little bit. That allowed Terry Labonte, rather. That allowed Terry Labonte to have a little bit of breathing room on Schrader. Don't count him out. Yeah, Schrader's got the fastest car on the track, and I think everybody knows that. And I think nobody knows that better than the person that's in the 11 car right now, who's getting a mirror full of a green Chevrolet. Wow, look at the closing speed. Yeah, Schrader actually had a let up there, or he was going to get into the back of the 11 car. So that actually killed Schrader's momentum. I mean, it just took a knife and chopped it off. Terry Labonte now getting to the inside of Dave Marcus. That's the 71 car on the outside there. Marcus will drop back. The 35's looking for a way around the 11 now. He's still looking. It seems like every single lap car that they've come across, Schrader's been looking for a way around. And you gotta think Schrader's the faster car right now. I think, well, catching somebody's one thing, passing them is a completely different thing. Even if the guy in front of you is just a little bit slower, and that can be quite annoying. And you can't just wreck them, you can't just put them into the wall. You just gotta have the best race you possibly can. Right now, the 35, he's trying to do it. Schrader is trying to do it. Terry Labonte is trying to get to the bottom here of Lake Speed. He'll do that. And wow, Ken Schrader is actually really, really slow all of a sudden. Yeah, he fell way back. Not sure if that was due to the lap traffic or not. Where Schrader's like, you know what? We've still got 10 laps to go yet. We're not just going to force the issue on lap traffic, even though that's what Labonte did to get around Schrader. He forced the issue in lap traffic. That's how Labonte got this lead about 10 laps ago. Larry Pearson now sticking his bumper in front of the 35. We know Larry Pearson's not going to be coming back to the 4 car. Schrader trying to find a way around that 4 car right now. Yeah, he's going to have to get around Pearson as fast as he can, but sometimes passing's just not a very easy thing to do. Sometimes you just don't have the momentum to do it. It's hard to explain. Alright, there goes Schrader. When we come to the line, there's going to be 9 laps to go. And that's how long Terry Labonte is going to have to hold on. Lap traffic will play a very, very minor part. I don't think they're going to get to Dick Trickle. They're probably going to catch Michael Waltrip, though. Ken Schrader's going to have to make up about a 0.7 of a second gap to Terry Labonte. He's got to get away from that 4 car first. That drag that the 4 car is creating is actually slowing him down a bit. And you'll see it on the speed charts, on the time chart there on the left-hand side of your screen, upper left-hand side. Although Schrader's got the faster car, he's got to break away from Larry Pearson. I think he's finally done it. Yeah, because the moment he breaks away from Larry Pearson is the moment that he's finally going to be free from that drag. He's finally going to be able to push his car to the max. You can see it there. The gap did not change much, and you're going to expect this lap that Schrader's going to reel back in the 11 car. Yeah, Schrader's got to get going here, though. He's running out of time. If he's going to get a win here, he's going to have to attack now. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte is he's just looking really good. Although all the other Fords have collapsed, the best running Ford other than Labonte is now all the way down into 7th. And there's only one other Ford in the entire top 10, and that's Alan Kowicki. And he's going to, well, and now you can see Kowicki, Martin, Elliott, and Allison. They all occupy 10th through 13th. Anyways, that brings us to 5 laps to go. The gap is 0.6 of a second, so Labonte's actually pulling away. Labonte might have this. Oh, wow, where did Derek Cope come from? Yeah, as I said, I did not think that they were going to catch lap traffic, but yeah, Derek Cope is definitely going to be an issue. See how much that slows up Terry Labonte, how much Michael Waltrip's going to slow up Terry Labonte, we really don't know. How much is it going to slow up Ken Schrader is the big deal. And Ken Schrader was really slow that lap. Yeah, 0.88 is the gap now. So Terry Labonte looks like he's going to cruise on to victory now. Three laps to go. You can see Ken Schrader is just pretty much a faint green square in the background compared to Terry Labonte. Labonte's just going to have to hold on for a few more laps here, and you'll be taking home another win here for Junior Johnson, which is quite impressive to say the least. 2 laps to go. I don't think Schrader's going to get him. Yeah, it's going to take some kind of miracle for the 11 car to blow this one, but you never know. This is Charlotte after all. Caution isn't going to help. Nope. That'll end the race. So here comes Terry Labonte. He'll dive down into 3, come up off of turn number 4. And Terry Labonte's going to take the white flag here from Charlotte. Here they zoom off into turn number 1. We said that this was likely going to be a caution-riddled race. We have gone caution-free all race long, with the exception of the one accident with Jeff Bodine that didn't bring out a caution. Terry Labonte has come here to Charlotte and has dominated the entire field. He will win the All-Pro Auto Parts 500. What a dominating performance by Terry Labonte. There's that championship form that we would expect out of a Junior Johnson team and a veteran driver like Labonte. However, that's really not something that we saw the entire year out of this team. So you got to say that they've punched below expectations, but here's Terry Labonte doing very, very well at Charlotte. Got to say this team's looking up towards 1990 as well. Lots of teams are looking good heading towards 1990. So we take a look. Terry Labonte with that win, his first win of the year, will move him up into 6th in points. And Ricky Rudd, actually on the momentum, will move up to 4th in points as he's had a couple of really good finishes. And the points positions just continue to get all sorts of shuffled around in here, especially towards the back. Phil Parsons with the 16 top 10s, still so far down. Tim Richmond, 20 top 10s. He becomes the first driver to eclipse the 20 top 10 mark, and with a 143-point lead, 4 races to go, it's looking like it's going to be a very steep hill to climb for Richmond. However, the ultimate wild card, North Wilkesboro, still stands in their way. We'll see you next time.